Welcome in, Clint Grunwald.
Yeah, welcome in, Lacey Mills, Executive Director of the United Way of Reno County. Good morning, Lacey.
Good morning.
Always good to see you, one of our favorite people. And sorry that Carla's a little under the weather, but she'll get back up. We kind of juggled a few things to get you guys on here. We moved a couple things, but an important situation with the Plevna tornado, and VOAD is in a full effect, and we want to talk about that a little bit this morning.
Yeah, thanks for making room for us to come on and just share a little bit about what's happening out in Plevna, and also I think just making our community aware that VOAD exists and what the role of VOAD is in our community.
And what is that role exactly? And that's to take care of problems when disaster strikes.
Yeah. So VOAD stands for Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. And so what that means is when there is a disaster in Reno County, basically all of the groups that are part of VOAD decide to come together to lift up and support folks who are impacted by that tragedy. And part of VOAD, United Way is a part of VOAD, Salvation Army, Reno County Emergency Management, American Red Cross, local churches, the Volunteer Center, and several others. And our goal is to not only just focus on that initial crisis period, but our VOAD team really walks with those families and survivors, over the course of the next year or 2 years. We are still actually serving some individuals from the Cottonwood fires. So we are here for the long haul, not just in crisis moment.
Well, and also I noticed that Adam Weischer had made a statement that you guys put out on your press release that due to the size and scope of this tornado over at Plevna, disaster funding is unfortunately not available. So that's what makes VOAD of Reno County very, 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 very important to help those folks out.
Absolutely. I think, as we were into the first couple of days after the tornado and talking with Adam, we quickly realized that while the damage from the tornado, as we know, for several families, it wiped out their homes and additional outbuildings. But still the damage that had taken place in Plevna and the surrounding areas did not meet the minimum thresholds for there to be federal or state funding coming this way. And I think that is why it is so important for our community to help support our neighbors in times like this when we can. And that's where VOAD can really step in and try to help support them as they're going to be rebuilding their lives in the coming years.
Now, some people might say, okay, that's not fair. But in reality, it doesn't matter because we're good folks here in the Reno County area. We're good folks in Kansas. So we're good people, and good people step up. And I've heard of mass groups of volunteers showing up there. Even the Waddle Wagon was there yesterday providing food along with Giuseppe's subs. They were able to garner donations and still are taking donations to help feed the workers. But I do know one of our church trustees got up yesterday and mentioned this. He's from that area. Yeah. And so I think a lot of churches are going to step up and really help out. How can individuals or businesses or churches help, and where can they go to donate to VOAD?
I do want to say something before I give that answer, but within the first 24 to 48 hours, Adam Weischer was saying he has never seen such a response to a local tragedy happening in a community, especially the size of Plevna. And the number of people that have showed up to volunteer, to bring in donations, to bring in water, has just been astronomical for that community. If somebody wants to donate or get involved at this point, we're a week out. So a couple of options would be donations. So you can make a gift online at www.unitedwayofrenocounty.com/disaster. And that is actually a landing page that shows all of the ways to support the Plevna tornado victims, which also includes a link to donate directly to that fund. I would also say that they are probably going to be needing volunteers for the foreseeable future. A great way to get involved with that is to reach out to the Volunteer Center. Leah and Jenna over at the Volunteer Center are coordinating volunteers for kind of after crisis moments. So they've got a list going because we know just from what history tells us that there are going to be a lot of hands that are going to come the first week or 2 weeks, but that's going to slowly start to fade. And that's when these individuals and families are going to need the most help. So if you have an interest in volunteering, hop on, give, the volunteer center a call. And lastly, I would say they've got a gym that's full of donated items right now, and they're trying to kind of figure out how to disperse that beyond the initial crisis moment. So my guidance would be is that if you have some items that you feel like you'd want to donate, Salvation Army would be a great call. Salvation Army is helping support them with gaps that they have in items that they are running short on. So that would be the direction that I would make and give to somebody that's looking to help.
Lacey, could that be anything? Could that be clothing, shirts, shoes, whatever that have been lost and families are in need? Could that be just about anything?
It could be just about anything. I'm headed out there today to actually chat through kind of what those donated tangible items look like and what the gaps are. I think that they have an abundance of water right now, hygiene items. They've got some clothing that's there. I think they have a lot of things that are going to support families. Right now, though, families are so focused on cleaning up property, getting their homes to where they're livable, or finding a place to stay, which the great news is everybody that was affected with a home being wiped out has been rehomed. But I think that those items are going to come into play here in the next couple of months and be a high need for individuals.
Chatting with Lacey Mills, who is with United Way of Reno County, talking about the VOAD needs and also the needs of the Plevna area after the tornado this last week. We'll be back on this early portion of the morning show right after this. United Way of Reno County joining us this morning to talk about the Plevna tornado and the efforts that are taking place, which are giant. Everybody's really stepping up big time. We talked off mic here. The preference would be to check through the Volunteer Center of Reno County. Can you tell folks where that's located at and how people can get a hold of that? I'll give you a chance to get a hold of that, so I just threw that at you. But that would be the way to coordinate the effort rather than just drive out there and show up, because kind of be accountable for everything. We've had issues where people know that the buildings are open, and that's not a good thing. There's some people that have ill intent, and hopefully we staved off some of that. But you want to coordinate an effort where people can check in.
Yeah, I think that's great, Glenn. My encouragement would be is if you or a group that you are with, whether it's a church or a school, having an interest in going out there to help, I would ask that you would coordinate those efforts through Jenna and Leah at the Volunteer Center. They are the umbrella of the VOAD group that helps with all volunteer activities. So if you wanted to volunteer, the number to get a hold of them would be 620-665-4960. And just give them an idea as to how many people and kind of what you're looking to do. One of the things that we found out quickly is there's a lot of people with heavy machinery that are happy and willing to go out and move things. A little bit of the challenge right now is they have more people to move things than what they have dumpsters. So we've got a great relationship with Stutzman's, who's been in and out of there, unloading and re-dropping off the dumpsters, and those bins are full within, I'd probably say, an hour or so.
Yeah, I heard it's a battle of the skid steers out there.
It is.
On front
it
loaders.
Absolutely is.
Exactly. All right, you have a $250,000 goal for the Reno County tornado relief of efforts for Plevna. Now, there's an event coming up that's going to be this coming Friday night at Sand Hills Brewery, and there's going to be a party for Plevna, basically. Everybody likes a party.
Everybody loves a party.
This is going to be one that's really going to benefit in a very positive way. This is United Way Reno County's disaster fund. Is going to be party at Plevna Sand Hill Brewing, a company that's going to be this Friday. Local band Blues Warning will play from 7 till 9, and whatever's cooking a local food truck will be on site as well. That service will begin at 5 p.m. Donations raised for the event, along with a portion of the sales, will be donated to the United Way Reno County Disaster Fund. That's going to be a fun time and very much needed. And I'm glad that somebody can step up like that in the view of a disaster to still have put a smile on some people's face and know that this is going to go for a great cause.
I agree wholeheartedly. Ironically, we organized this. We made a phone call to Pippin, and Pippin basically was like, I've been waiting for you to call just because that's who Pippin is. And being in Plevna the last week, I would say something that stands out to me is even families who had their entire homes wiped out from this tornado are still wearing a smile. They are worried about their neighbors. They are just putting their head down and doing the work, and they're trying to remain positive. And so when we came up with the idea of Party for Plevna, it felt really fitting for just the families and the community that we're trying to help. And I would say come out, whether you're a beer drinker or not, you're sure to have a good time between the band that's going to be on site, Blues Warning, the food truck, the fellowship, and the community that's going to happen and come out to support these individuals that are our neighbors. I think it's going to be a really great time and a really heart-filling time as well.
For people that don't know, Sand Hills is located at 111 West 2nd Avenue in Hudson. They just expanded to the front there as well. They took over Sunflower Yoga. It's a wonderful facility. Pippin does massive things for this community that people don't see from behind, as do other people as well with that are in the community. But that's a neat thing. That's going to start at 5 p.m. Like we said, there'll be a food truck there. Portions of the food purchases will go toward this. It doesn't matter what you give. Come on out, give $5, $1, $10, give $1,000. It doesn't matter. It's going to help out a great cause.
Yes,
no
absolutely.
So what else has been going on? This is kind of taking your emphasis all of a sudden. The focus has been, you had a little bit of a breathing room, but not much. But what else has been going on with United Way of Reno County?
You know, we just wrapped our allocations process, which is where we invite all of our funded partners to come in and present on the programs that they're looking for some financial support for. And we are doing things a little bit different this year, Glenn. We're going to, instead of just sending them a letter with what they are receiving, we're going to do an awards announcement. So that's going to come up on June 17th. We're going to be doing a press release about that here in the next couple of weeks. Not like anything major has happened, to derail us a little bit, but we're looking forward to that. We have some big plans for Community Work Day. That's going to look a little bit different this year. I'm excited to partner with the city and a couple of our other partners, New Beginnings and Interfaith Housing. We're going to do a little bit more targeted approach this year and a couple of more opportunities. Try to not be in the heat of August for Community Work Day, but push it back a little bit. So we've got some great things happening over at United Way.
So the announcement will take place on June 17th. We'll be sure to schedule you guys to get you out here for that. And you'll be sending out a press release on that. Kind of shaking things up a little bit there, Lacey.
I know. Just keeping it exciting and trying to, keep pulling people in to let them know the work of United Way and our partners here in the community.
Well, you guys do a great job, you and Carla, and along with Elizabeth Warren, as well as other folks that are involved with United Way of Reno County. A small group, but does mighty things. And go and remember the party coming up at 5 p.m. at Sand Hills Brewery, 111, again, West 2nd. That'll be starting at 5 p.m. If you can't make that, again, on the release, we also have a story up on HutchPost.com with the link. And so you folks know what that link is www.unitedwayofrenocounty.org/disaster. And you can give a lot, and we'll help that community of Plevna, and I know they would be very appreciated. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lacey Mills, United Way of Reno County. We'll be back with more bottom half of the news coming your way on KWBW Hutchinson, Kansas.